Hi, everyone.
What's up?
How's everyone
Happy
doing?
Friday. What's up?
Hi all.
So where were all you guys last week? I mean, the audience. We were here. There was no audience.
yeah,
Nobody
what
showed up
happened?
to watch.
Yeah, what happened?
No, it's
Where'd you guys go? Did you go to the wrong live stream?
Did you get us confused with Stargate Universe? Because that has
happens.
happened.
That happens.
Of course.
Well, at least we're all together this week.
Yes, we are back.
Steve's teasing you.
We're back.
We are back.
Jay-
Some of us are more back than
Yeah, I'm
others.
like about to collapse over here.
Jay looks a little jet laggy
I
over there.
totally bad.
Yeah, Jay. Hey, what's going on?
I've been
a
awake
while.
for about 20 hours.
20 hours of travel.
Yeah, I don't know what Steve or anybody told you guys on the podcast, but
Nothing.
Something about a commune or a
So-
the Maharishi. But
yes,
didn't make
I
sense.
moved to India. No, so it was my wife and I. It was our 10-year anniversary on October 1st.
Hey.
And my
I
wife
remember that
surprised
wedding.
me 2 days before our anniversary. She said, "We're going on a trip," and she ended up taking us back to where we went on our honeymoon, which was Italy. So she surprised me. I had 2 days to get ready for this trip. We went to Italy.
2 days to get ready to go around the world.
It was amazing. It was
That's
unbelievable.
wild.
I mean, I literally started crying the second I found out what she did. So so my wife is a production manager and a director, and she does a lot of work in film and in stage productions and theater. And she has worked on and off as an independent worker, consultant, and does gig work for years. So she's been saving money, I think, for the past 5 years to surprise me with this trip. So this thing has literally been a surprise as of 5 years in the making. And Bob just picked me up at the airport. I had such an incredible time. I can't even know where to begin. We spent most of our time in Florence. We spent a little time in Rome. Unbelievable. I don't know. I don't even know what to start with. Like Florence as a city is by far my favorite city. It's gorgeous. The people are
Favorite city in Italy or favorite city in the world?
in the world. Favorite city.
Even more than Glasgow?
Even more than Danbury?
Well, Danbury, there's a pizza place in Danbury that's not that bad. Yeah, I mean, the thing about Florence is that it's a walking city. So Italy has this thing where they restrict where you could drive a car. So if you don't live in this particular neighborhood, you can't drive there. And if you do, they take a picture of your license plate and they fine the crap out of you. So that means that the traffic is incredibly low, almost non-existent, particularly in Florence. So it's a city that you walk around. You can walk wherever you want without fear of getting run over or anything. Everybody there is like outside having fun, eating outside. There's musicians. There's all sorts of artists all over the place. It's like walking in a dream. It's amazing. And then the art in the city is, Florence of the Italian cities that I've been to, Florence has.
It's amazing.
It is amazing.
Gosh.
The Medici family had their biggest home that it was in Florence, and that home has the Buboli Gardens, which is this incredibly like hand manicured garden that is, hundreds of acres. It's just breathtaking. Everything is breathtaking, and the food
can't go wrong.
It's hard to go wrong. I mean, every once in a while, like we heavily researched every restaurant we went to, right? So we're using Google to help us, and we had some suggestions and everything.
Did you use Google Paisano?
Yeah, that was basically like, it was great. So my wife found an Airbnb apartment that was right near the Pitti Palace and right near the Ponte Vecchio, which is a bridge in Florence.
It's an old bridge, right?
It's an old bridge that has all sorts of stores and everything. It's mostly like jewelry and things like that, but it's this beautiful bridge. So she finds this apartment, and the market has been so bad. The rental market has been so bad.
How bad was it?
Really bad. Like the pricing that she got was unbelievably good. Like that, the housing was the least expensive thing on the entire trip. We were right there, right in the middle of the action. It was really remarkable. And we spent our days like just walking around a beautiful city, looking at ancient art. I was telling Bob on the drive home. So the Michelangelo's David, it's a sculpture that he made of David, who is the David that slew Goliath.
Biblical
right?
David, yes.
Biblical
David.
At the moment before.
And the story is pretty awesome. There's a lot more details than what I'll go into right now, but there was a lot of other sculptors who were looking at this piece of marble that was sitting in front of sitting somewhere in the yard of some cathedral. They just drop off chunks of marble, and all of these other sculptors like looked at the marble, they examined it, and they're like, essentially like, this is crap marble. It's unusable. It's unworkable. It was this giant piece of marble, and everybody was turning it down. Like, I don't want to work with that. I don't want to work with that. Michelangelo goes to essentially gets permission to use it. He wanted to carve it. They're like, yeah, go ahead. Nobody wants to touch that thing. And he carved.
Have at it, Mickey.
I would say, I can confidently say that he carved the best thing that was ever carved out of marble. He carved it out of that piece of crap chunk of marble that was,
you could certainly make a reasonable case for that.
Yeah. I mean, one of his contemporaries, upon seeing the statue of David, said, "You don't need to look at anything else that's ever been sculpted. If you want to experience sculpture, this is all you need to look at. It is the best." I mean, the reason why it's such a good piece of art is that he was able to capture such a lifelike bodily form of the figure David, right? So people are, often wonder, is this a sculpture of David before or after he killed Goliath, right? So Goliath was this really big giant that he killed with a sling, right?
Mm-hmm.
I personally think that it's after, because he looks like he has this victorious determination on his face, but the sculpture is so detailed that you could see the veins in his hands and in his arms. It has an expression on the face that is a true human expression. It's just an unbelievable feat of artistry that he pulled off, and it's enormous. What is it? 17 feet tall? Like this thing is. It's
my 12-foot skeleton's not as big as David.
Not even close.
It's one of those things. I have a list of a few things that I have seen in person where you feel like no amount of pictures or video will do it justice. If you don't see this in person, you are not getting
That's
the
one
effect.
of them.
No.
That's
What
one of
are
them.
they? What are they,
The
Steve?
Grand
I've got
Canyon.
three.
Yeah.
The Grand Canyon, like
Agreed.
you see the Grand Canyon, like, yep, this is, no picture has ever done it justice.
Maybe VR, VR might be able to simulate,
Maybe.
especially when it becomes, really high res.
High res VR would be the only thing.
But the thing is, it's not just standing in front of the statue; it's the marvelous way that they present it in the museum that it's in. As soon as you walk into the museum, you see the statue in the distance.
Yeah, you walk down a corridor. Yeah, basically a wide corridor.
Exactly. And they've created this to instantly give you the sense of its sheer size and being far away from it, but still having the ability to see detail on it. You're like, what am I looking at? Like, this is incredible.
And Michelangelo screwed with the perspective. It's actually not proportional.
Right. His hands are kind of off. And
it's designed so that somebody our size looking at it would look the correct perspective to us, even though it's not really the right proportions. Yeah.
So for me, Jay, real quick, for me, the few things that elicited such an emotional reaction when I saw it for the first time, David was one of them. Just like jaw dropping, like you're in the presence of something truly magnificent. The other time I felt it was seeing a mock-up of the Saturn V engines on their side at that NASA facility. Awe-inspiring.
It was full Saturn V rocket. Yep.
You cannot appreciate how the beauty of that engineering and the scale and the construction unless you're right in front of it. It was truly awe-inspiring. And the third thing was walking onto the set of the classic Trek Enterprise.
Oh yeah,
that was like a spiritual experience.
Yes. Yeah, I probably nailed it. I would put those three at the top of my list as well. So I looked at a statue for an hour. That's how remarkable this piece of art is. But we went to all of the places that you'd want to go in Florence to see all of the art collections, and I'm finally mature enough to really appreciate this. When my wife and I went there on our honeymoon 10 years ago, I didn't appreciate it like I did this time. I mean, I was emotionally moved by a lot of the artwork and the amount of artistry, the amount of money that was spent on this back then, which is remarkable, but the quality and quantity of the artistry. It's just incredible to think that many talented people existed back then and exist today. Unbelievable. Just walking through the Pitti Palace, which is the Medici's home in Florence. They have these 20-foot ceilings, the gigantic rooms that are filled with like thousands of pieces of art. Just every single little nook and cranny is another piece of art. It's a painting, a fresco on the ceiling, to the corner details, to the way that the wall is decorated, to the sconce. I mean, it's like every single thing was so meticulously thought of and handcrafted. Living in the United States, we just don't have that. We do not even come close to what Europe has as far as art and culture and all of that. It's just not here. It just doesn't exist here like it does
so
there.
Much older by measure.
Yeah.
You couldn't have it here.
So we were in Philadelphia a few weeks ago. My wife and I, and we went for the Van Gogh exhibit. We met our daughter there, brought our other daughter. And so we went to see the Philadelphia Museum of Art, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they had a display there of medieval armor. Now, we're into this sort of things. How many times have you seen medieval armor?
So many times.
So many times.
Like what, on the movie, in a movie set?
In a book, in a movie, anywhere, maybe even in a museum.
Hollywood,
but this was a really impressive display, and they had some very, very incredibly high-end examples, of different eras. And again, I had that experience where it's like, wow, I thought I knew, what medieval armor was about. I've seen documentaries on it, but then, getting to the opportunity to look at it up close really gave me an appreciation for the workmanship. It's like, oh yeah, this would take I can understand how this would take a year to make and cost the equivalent of like tens of thousands of dollars in modern, in like modern money. Easily. And then like there was one guy who was like a knight, full body plate mail, full plate mail on the horse, sword, shield, and I said to my wife, now take a look at this. Now you can appreciate how one peasant with a longbow taking this guy out completely ended this era.
Game changer. Yeah.
You think about the investment in this armor, in the horse, in the training, the conditioning, and I mean, not that using a longbow took training as well, but still, literally, a peasant training on the weekends in the longbow would take out a knight because the armor would pierce the arrow would pierce that armor.
Yeah.
But it really makes you, again, one of those things you have to see it in person to really appreciate. The workmanship was just unbelievable.
Steve, did you notice that the helmets, like when you get to see a suit of armor up close, you realize that they cannot see out of these helmets.
I can't see. God damn it!
There's like slits, like you would be.
Some were more generous than others, but yeah.
Well, I guess the guys that survived had the ones where you couldn't see that well. You want a sword stuck in one of those holes.
They went the wrong way. They never got in the battle.
So when we walked out the back of the museum, we walked around to the back, and then I'm like, I didn't like remember or realize where we were. Do you guys know what's out the back of the Philadelphia Museum of Art? These big giant stairs. Giant stairs.
Oh yeah.
Oh, is it the Rocky Stairs?
It's the Rocky Stairs.
Yeah.
It's the statue in the stairs. So I see the statue in the stairs. I'm like, oh, holy shit, these are the Rocky Stairs. And then everyone else questions me on that. Like saying, are you sure? No, it was someplace else. Like,
there's a statue of him there in the movie.
I know. It's off to the side though. They didn't see it yet. And then people are like running up the stairs doing the Rocky thing. I'm like, And then we saw the statue of Rocky I said that statue was there so that people like me could tell people like you, see, I was completely right.
That's the reason.
An anti-vaxxer still wouldn't believe you, Steve.
Right. It was funny though, but it is the single most popular tourist attraction in Philadelphia, the Rocky Stairs.
It did win the Academy Awards.
The power of movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other thing I noticed, of course, like so much of the artwork is based on religion, right?
Oh yeah.
And I used to, as a skeptic and as someone who went through that whole struggle of dealing with the religion that I grew up with, and rejecting organized religion, and then admitting to myself that the only logical position that I chose to have is being agnostic, saying nobody really knows. But I look at cutting to the chase, you look at this artwork and you're like, some remarkable things have been done in the name of religion, and art is, I think, one of them.
Yeah, but I mean, that's true. But the fact that it was just fantastic art. The fact that it was religious was incidental.
Yeah,
it was just expressing the culture of the time.
Yes.
If the culture were different, the art would be just as fantastic. It would just be about something else. But you do, you had the same experience. We were in Italy together when we were younger, and just on later trips where, any time you're going to an older city, most of they're going to show you the giant cathedrals, and most of the artwork is religious in nature of one type or another wherever you go in the world. But you just have to say, I mean, that was the culture of the time. It still is dominant culture in many places. You have to appreciate the art for what it is. Like I know in Rome, did you go to Rome, or did you get to Rome or no?
Yeah, we spent one day in Rome.
Did you go into the Vatican?
Last time we went, I did the whole thing. I didn't have time this time.
So that's one of the most incredible things I've ever seen.
Vatican is remarkable.
It's amazing, but let me just test my memory. So now this is like a 40-year-old memory. Was the Pietà in the Vatican, or I think one of them? I think there might be more than one.
Yes,
it was in there, right? So my memory is that was the most beautiful piece of artwork in Rome. Basically, was the Pietà. But again, it's 100% religious in context. But who cares?
Yeah, so one of the commenters said that it's not religious.
No,
because the artist chose it to be. It's that the church paid for it, and I agree.
Right.
Yeah, the church commissioned all this. I mean, you could even take it a step further. And they were in competition with each other, and the rich families, and the different churches, and just different locations in the same city. Like they were all vying for these artists and to have the funds to hire them to do incredible things. I appreciate that these things happened and that they have been preserved, right? The amount of effort that Italy puts into preserving
all of that wars and earthquakes and everything else that's I mean, Italy's not the easiest country to live in.
Hey guys, I remember the Pietà in St. Peter's. I just confirmed it. It's in St. Peter's.
Yeah, that's in Vatican City.
Are you sure? There might be more than one of them.
Bob, where is St. Peter's?
Yeah, but I mean specifically in St. Peter's.
Yeah. Yeah, but where is St. Peter's?
Yeah, it's in
there are three of them.
Vatican City.
Yeah.
Three.
St. Peter's Basilica in Rome.
Mm-hmm.
2 are real and 1 is fictitious.
Evan, have you ever seen like the one in St. Peter's? There's a lot of things in Italy that you could see where people traditionally touch it, right? Mm-hmm. So they touch Jesus's foot on the Pietà because Mary, I think it's Mary that's holding him, right?
Yeah.
And you could see that it's worn out from people for a couple of thousands of years touching it, or like
Darwin's toe in the British Museum.
Yeah, you got that right.
Thousands of years. How old is a Pietà?
I don't even know now. How about
it gets worn out, right?
Hundreds, like 1600s, Bob, right?
Yeah.
16 something. Another incredible
late
thing
1400s.
To see. You're walking up like a marble stairs, and the stairs are bowed from people slowly wearing it away from walking on it, with the amount of foot traffic that these places have gotten for hundreds of years. That's incredible, knowing that many people have gone into these places too. Another interesting thing, I didn't get to the Vatican this trip, but the Sistine Chapel is very small.
Mm-hmm.
The Sistine Chapel is remarkably small.
Mm-hmm.
Remarkably small. Like when I first walked in, I expected it to be like, 50 foot, half the size of a football field. It is tiny. But that doesn't take anything away from the quality of the artwork in there, which is just mind blowing. That's another one. Like you can't look up enough. It hurts your head to look up as long as you want to actually.
Yeah, when we were on those trips, I kept reminding everyone, don't forget to look up because you're missing lots of art if you don't look up.
But and like to finalize my whole thing, I needed this week so badly. Like my wife and I had a very, very difficult past few months have been, like our air conditioner broke. It's very expensive to replace it, and we still haven't had it fixed. It was broken all summer, right? Like we have a company coming like in 6 weeks. That's as quick as we could do it because of how bad the summer was. And we were she and I were just completely emotionally wiped out. And this trip was the perfect timing. I can't tell you how remarkable it was to spend that much time alone with my wife. Like we realized, like, by the time we put the kids to bed at night, we're done. We sit down and we'll watch a TV show for a half hour or whatever, then we're done.
Zone out.
There's like no talking. We don't have, you forget that you used to talk.
It's all about the kids at that age.
Yeah, it is. So we got to really talk to each other and have like, conversations that are worth having, right, Bob? That was from Nightmare Before Christmas. So guys, thank you. Thanks for covering for me. I appreciate it.
No worries.
Time of my life. I really did. I feel very energized.
Dynamite.
Bob, did you hear, to completely change topics, did you hear this, the possibility that the massive black hole at the center of our galaxy may not be a supermassive black hole?
What?
Have you heard
Bullshit.
The alternate?
No,
bullshit.
What?
Come on, it's Sagittarius A star.
Yes,
like a few million. It's got a few million solar masses. I mean, come on.
Yes, but so there was an alternate hypothesis that is compatible with all the evidence, and we have not yet been able to distinguish between these two possibilities.
Really? What's the other?
Yeah.
What's the other?
What do you think? Any guesses?
That size and scope. What are you talking about?
It's nothing, man, because you have that much mass in that much space. It could only be a black hole.
But that's not what astronomers say, Bob. So
there's
some other possibility.
I'm really curious to hear this.
It could be a giant ball of dark matter.
Oh my God! Imagine that. Is it dense enough, Steve? Is it dense enough to gravitation?
Apparently, it explains all. So listen, we only know about the supermassive black hole, Sagittarius A star, because of the movement of stars around it, near the core.
Right. Yeah, right.
So you just need something that would produce that movement. So that gravity, and that's what dark matter is, right? It produces gravity, but it doesn't interact with other things. So we're waiting for a specific stars that are rotating in such a way that it will distinguish between the two.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we have to wait until 2030 something before the next time we could make the observation.
Yeah, but if it's gravitational, if it interacts with gravity, and you have that much mass, even dark matter, in such a confined spot, what's preventing that from just even dark matter collapsing?
I guess it doesn't have to be that confined. It doesn't have to be so confined that it would turn into a singularity. It's a big space.
Yeah. Explain that, Bob.
Bob, you don't look too happy.
No, I mean this would be the discovery of the decade.
No, it threw me for a loop too. I'm like, I didn't even realize it was a question that it was a black hole.
I think that would be remarkable if we could prove that. That would be amazing. As a matter of fact, I prefer it being dark matter than a black hole.
You don't like black holes; they scare you.
Of course they do. There are black holes that are so big.
How big are they?
Size of the middle of the
I saw that. You know the videos you could find where like they show you the Earth and they show the sun. And then they show here's the sun, and there's the thing, the next big one, the stars, and it gets bigger and bigger. And then you finally get to the point where you have like a black hole that's like the size, like 10
10 million suns.
Solar systems. And you're like, how could that thing is so unbelievably scary. It's like the biggest monster in the universe is these super giant black holes. I don't know. How could you not be scared of them?
It's one of the most fascinating things in the entire universe. It's endlessly fascinating and complex, and stretches our theories beyond the breaking point. It's a fantastic thing, and it's so far. I mean, it's so far away. I don't have any, I'm not afraid of it at all. It's just the most amazing thing in the universe.
But Steve,
go ahead, Ev.
You're saying that the astronomers say there's really only one way to be sure, and that's a measurement in 12 years from now.
So far, that's the only. A black hole and dark matter make one prediction that's different, and it has to do with which way these stars would be spinning or something, or rotating. And I have to look at it. Maybe we'll talk about it on the show this week. I'll look at it into more detail. But definitely, we should do a deep dive on that.
Oh yeah, you'll be hearing about this on next Saturday.
Wait for tomorrow.
Did you guys hear about William Shatner?
Oh yeah.
What?
My next item up.
Yeah, he's half Jewish.
Go ahead, Steve. This is awesome, Bob. You're gonna love this.
Yeah, it's official. William Shatner is going up in the Blue Origin. He's going into space.
Yeah, I heard it. Yeah, I heard about that. That's cool. I hope he.
and the guy's 90.
Will he be granted the title of honorary captain? I hope.
How cool would it be if they'd make his spacesuit look like Captain Kirk's outfit? That would be the shit right there. Come on, I would love that.
Mm-hmm. What are they going to name the ship that he goes up in?
Yeah, and
Excelsior.
Can they name it anything they wanted? Could they name it the Enterprise? I mean, why wouldn't they?
Throw a magnetic decal on the side. You're good.
I just think it's cool. Like when I know it's a stunt and it's great for marketing, but at the same time, I hope that it somehow inspires some people. We really need people to get inspired by science, and things like this could make a difference. It could get into the news cycle in a way that a lot of other things don't, and pique some interest. I mean, as a kid that grew up on the original series, I just think it's an incredibly cool thing to do.
Like, I think it's equally fascinating that a 90-year-old person can do this. And have they cleared him already? Physically, for his health.
Yeah, because he's young. They cleared him because he's doing it.
Wow, good for him.
And he admitted that he's scared, which I think is also cool.
Heck yeah, I'd be scared.
You could see as
he should be,
right? But yeah,
of course he should be. But it would have been so easy for him just to pretend that he's not. But I like knowing, hey, he's a real human being. He's going up there. It's going to be.
But the thing is, at 90, go for it.
Sure,
go into space.
Right?
What's the worst that could happen? You miss, the rest of your life, which. At 90, some people in their 90s are healthy and have a high quality of life, but you got to really put things into perspective.
So I'm still having trouble wrapping my mind around the fact that
the dark matter.
No, that Shatner is 90. Those two.
Yeah,
I know. Right?
I'm only 34 years old.
Yeah.
So somebody in chat said that Picard is cooler than Kirk, and
here we go.
That's a 2-hour conversation. You can't just drop that shit in the chat.
Of course he can. That's why
you can't drop stuff like that.
I disagree with you.
I know. I mean, it's
Kirk
a very
is cooler.
long.
It's
a long conversation. Hey, have we ever talked about that on AQ6? We should really.
Then the Kirk Picard.
We got to do it.
Invite me.
We talked about it.
I'd like to be part of that.
I was just going to invite you. Have you got to come do that with us? That would be a blast.
I would love to be part of that. I have some very, very strong opinions.
Everybody gets to state their case. We could show clips if you want to.
Well, do we all agree, or do we need to get somebody who disagrees with us?
I don't think we all agree. I think you'd be surprised, Steve. I suspect.
Evan? It's Evan, a Picard person?
Yeah, I'll save it for the show.
I'll tell you one thing. When you compare, how Kirk got the reputation of being like this captain that's going around banging a lot of space aliens and all this stuff. It's true.
That's part of what I like about it.
It's true because it was very much a cultural thing that was going on during the time. But when you talk about which of between those two captains, which one followed Starfleet's prime directive, you would be surprised at who followed the prime directive more than the other. And that's a very interesting conversation, which we will have on a show.
I'll just put out there, Kirk was a much better representative of the Starfleet Federation and the Federation's role in the galaxy, at the time than Picard.
Yeah.
Kirk went to the mat for promoting liberal democracy, and it's spread throughout the galaxy, and Picard was a weenie. He would have his drinks at Super Weenie Hut Jr.
Picard's a weenie. Oh my gosh.
Total weenie.
I don't know about that.
Patrick Stewart I like better than William Shatner, all things considered. He's a cooler actor and all that, but Kirk was a better captain than Picard.
Yeah, and also
we'll make our cases some other time.
And also, I want to add to what we will talk about when we do this. Evan, please prepare yourself appropriately.
Oh yeah.
Which one of them had the coolest monologues? I'd really like to play a few of their best monologues and talk about.
That's why we're aboard her.
I know.
Yeah, that's a good. That's a good point. Counterpoint. That's whose monologues were better because I can. They each have, I think, memorable ones.
Absolutely. I mean, Picard had some absolutely, incredible ones that to this day, like if I watch them on YouTube, like I can get the chills. But Captain Kirk though had balls in his in a way that I don't think Picard did. But we'll talk.
Looking forward.
Bob, did you send Ian any stuff that we found on the web this week? I was still sending Bob things.
No, you guys. No,
I did not.
Okay.
Today was crazy. It didn't even occur to me.
It's okay.
I could send you a few if you
want.
All
right, send me some stuff. Somebody said in defense of Kirk and his monologues, one word: con.
So I sent Bob some pictures I found. I don't remember where we were, but I was looking for Halloween themed imagery, and I'll send these to Ian right now.
Yeah,
This is good.
That was a good one.
Have I approved these pictures, Jay?
Yeah, these are fine.
Do I need to pre-screen them?
No, you don't. They're fine.
NSFW.
Oh boy. And we do have a quiz later, so everybody get your quiz hats on.
Right. And then when we're done with Kirk and Picard, we'll talk about Spock and number one. Number one.
Number one.
Spock
I have to go
versus
number
Riker?
2.
Oh, there we go.
Riker versus Spock.
Uh,
Crusher versus McCoy. Come on.
That's interesting.
Are these from the trip, Jay?
Yeah, those 3 pictures I just sent you were 3 pictures I sent
Scotty
Bob,
versus
'cause
Jordy.
I thought they were funny.
Scotty versus Jordy could be good. Oh, there was that episode, in Next Gen, which they sort of addressed that almost in some way. Dyson Sphere.
Dyson Sphere. Form.
All right. Dead air. What's going on?
I'm sending Ian a few of these things. I want him to show
focus
people.
on sending images. I'll add them and load them up one at a time. We'll see if Jay can provide commentary.
Okay.
I'm researching fermionic dark matter.
Oh, we see Bob spun off in a whole new direction.
What?
Yeah, so I'm
you
going
go.
through. I just thought this was so graphic. Of course, this is Jesus who has been stabbed by the Roman centurion.
Oh yeah, the spear, right?
And
big midsection.
Yeah, show the. So this is what's happening in the upper part of the painting, and then the next picture, show the skull one if you can.
Oh yeah, let me get that one. Sorry, it's just loading.
And then this next one is at Jesus's feet. And it's the second I laid eyes on it, I'm like, Bob needs to see this, right? So there's, because Bob and I have this joke going way back about Bob's skull collection. I just thought that was pretty cool. Like for some reason, Jesus's blood is dripping down and like there's a skull at the foot of what? Since when? Some artist just decided to throw a skull in there.
I'm sure it has some kind of symbolic meaning.
I like it, whatever it is.
Or it's a Bob relative.
Absolutely. Right. And then this next one, this is literally like I'm in a museum and I'm like, Bob, I just found 2 incredible paintings of zombies. I mean, look at the zombies. Seriously, if you zoom in, it's like, what the hell? They are zombies. So
is that like the plague or something?
Steve, I don't know. I was trying to like find them online to read out like what the intent was behind that.
Chad is saying that Jesus was supposedly killed on the Hill of Skulls, which means
the Hill of Skulls. Cool.
So
Golgotha.
The Hill of Skulls have eyes.
Thank you, Evan.
Yeah, I sent you a couple of other cool ones that came up.
Okay, let me pull that one up real quick, everybody. What is this first one? It's the it's like a check or
yeah, just show it. Let everyone take a look at it, then I'll tell you what it is.
Okay, let me find that window real quick.
Ian's doing all sorts of trickery back there.
Trickery, skullduggery, ledger domain.
Should be able to see that now, right?
Transmutation.
No, I don't see it yet.
Stand by. Here it comes.
All right, so
100.
This looks like a an old styled bill from the in the United States. Very, very old. Can you zoom in a little bit, Ian?
Yeah, let me.
Turns out, though, that this is a counterfeit bill that an artist hand drew. He would hand draw $100 bills.
Whoa!
Yes.
What? One at a time?
Yes.
That's terribly.
That's why he did $100 bills. And I zoomed way in with Photoshop to take a look at it, and it is remarkable. Like I don't know how familiar a lot of the audience is with with American currency, but like if you zoomed in on like the figures, like any of the faces or any skin, the skin on our bills has like waves in it. Like it's very much a textured type of look. It's not just blank. It's not just green. It has a texture to it. Mm-hmm. And he did all of that. He did all of it. The guy was a genius. He was an incredible artist.
Wow.
But did he make these to pass them off?
He passed them off. Yes, they got passed off.
They're probably more valuable now than actual $100 bills from the time.
And you know how he got busted? You could read it there.
Bragging to his cellmate in prison.
The note got wet on a bar. He gave it to a bartender. The note got wet and it smudged.
Yeah, that's a problem.
And the guy was like, "What the hell is going on with this bill?" So he got busted.
I left something out in my wagon. I'll be right back. Zoink.
Nice.
Wow. Good stuff.
Wonder how long it took him to do one of those.
Yeah. It said there that he did 700 of them. So there was a couple more I sent you.
And it's not a stamp either.
A week or two maybe per bill.
From what I read, it was all done by hand. Just the guy was just that talented.
Oh, this is a good. I've seen this one. Here we go.
Government should have hired him to do art for their money.
All right, check out this next one.
It's still loading. It's kind of funky. Boop. This comes for real or fake.
Yeah.
Is this real or is it fake?
All right, let's see.
Go full screen with it if you can.
Yeah, well, okay. Sorry, let me get back to it.
Sorry about the waiting, guys. I didn't
keeping it real.
I got home 5 minutes ago.
Very real. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yep.
So is it a real person or is it fake?
Fake.
With the makeup, it makes it.
It's damn good, but it's definitely fake. I would say.
Look at that.
Especially given the camera movements, it's like obviously.
Yeah, there it has a General Tarkin's, new
it's
Star
fake.
Wars movies feeling to it.
There's something just not quite right about it. It's getting closer.
But come on, appreciate that for what it is.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Amazing. When I saw it the first time, I wasn't 100% sure until one move where I could tell just a little bit.
Yeah.
And I was even hard to tell why, but my mind knew it wasn't right.
The upper lip was the giveaway. I think.
Yeah. But that, you've mentioned this many times before, Steve, we are so hardwired to recognize realistic human movements that it's very easy to detect when something doesn't feel right. It's not following gravity.
Even correctly. If we don't know, even if we can't tell you exactly why, it just feels wrong. Yeah. We're experts at faces. We are the best experts in the world.
That's right. We got faces. AI beat by a mile
for now, but we see them all day, every day, and it's hard. Dinosaurs, when they first came out with CG dinosaurs, no problem, because nobody knew what a dinosaur really
was. No real frame of reference.
Toy Story,
You get a human in the foreground right there in front of the camera. I mean, it's so hard. But I didn't get too much Uncanny Valley in there. I mean, that's...
Oh, I know. It was very little.
Right? It's like beyond the Uncanny Valley.
It's on the other side, not all the way back down. But
we have another one, Jay, that you sent, the real or fake. Did you want to show that one?
Yeah, do it, please.
Is that real or fake?
Well, Courtney's real. I don't
tell.
know about
I feel like
what's going on in the background.
With the eye.
You bastard.
That's real.
Yeah, let's see what your eye looks like when you got a claw in your nose.
Yeah, but that thing
is that what that is?
It's going way up.
I thought it was pizza.
I could barely recognize it, Bob.
No, that's a king crab.
It was my mom's birthday, right, Bob? Was that for mom's birthday?
Yeah, she wanted a king crab, so obviously, of course, I put one in my nose for a picture.
Sure, why not?
Duh.
Somebody said it looks like a carrot. It totally does look like a carrot.
Carrots.
Evan,
yes.
What's that puzzle behind you?
Yeah, what is that puzzle behind me, guys?
So I'm first. I see two S's. Oops. I'm switching over to
wrong take. Let me get Evan.
6679868.
Yes. No. Well, 7986866.
Okay.
All right. So, what do you see? I mean, in a visual sense, what do you think you're looking at there? That arrangement. Does that arrangement look familiar?
Could be. I thought it was on a periodic table
or calendar.
Right.
Calendar.
Right. Yeah. Correct.
Yeah.
Calendar,
upper or lowercase, maybe some type of thing.
Calendar is definitely the what I was going for there with this. So therefore, the numbers.
Right. So the numbers represent
letters in the days of the week.
Correct, Steve. Letters in the days of the week. See, you got your Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Okay.
Why are the 2 6s lower than the other guys?
It's a good question because I didn't want to make the puzzle too easy. So I decided to start this particular month on a Wednesday, effectively. So if you were to look at a calendar, just that calendar, if it started on a Wednesday, this is the pattern you would see.
Evan, can you and I have an argument about something that's been bothering me? I want to see where you fall on this.
Go for it. We're all friends here.
The first day of the week is Monday.
Mm-hmm.
I do not agree that Sunday is the first day of the week.
I agree.
Sunday is part of the goddamn weekend. Monday is the first day of the week. Calendars are wrong.
And I've seen calendars. When I was younger, this was pretty much the standard by which our calendars, that at least the ones I was exposed to, went, with Sunday being the first one. Where am I? Over here, Sunday. But in more current times, I've seen it with starting with a Monday.
We're starting with a Monday and the weekend separate.
But if you open up your window on whatever computer device you're on and you open the calendar, guess what you see? You get
Sunday is the first column.
Sunday. So that still seems to be I believe the preferred convention.
It is, and I'm fine. I don't need calendars to be changed. But like when we talk about the first day of a week, though, it really, I mean, psychologically, it's Monday.
Oh, yes.
Sunday, you're not thinking, oh, a new week just started on Sunday. Sunday is the tail end of the weekend, which means weekend. Weekend, right? Bob, you following me?
Breakfast,
but I don't know.
Fast.
Yeah, I don't know if there was any religious context to this, because Sunday's was an important day for
a holy day,
and therefore that started the week. It was the refreshing, basically getting off to a clean start. You went, confessed your sins, and now you're off to your fresh week. I don't know. Also, I made a mistake. This is Tuesday. It starts, not Wednesday. That was my mistake before.
Okay.
So correcting that. Thank you for pointing that out, everyone.
My wife and I will never agree on this. It's one of the biggest problems in our relationship.
The calendar?
Yeah.
Sunday versus Monday?
We argue about it all the time. It's so stupid because we're teaching our kids. And I'm saying Monday is the first day of the week. You go to school on Monday. Everybody gets up and goes to work. Most people on Monday. And my wife is literally like, you're deliberately screwing with them. Like you are just not teaching them correctly. So this is a thing that happens in my house.
This is one of those extremely rare situations where you're correct and she isn't.
But isn't it a biblical thing? Isn't it Saturday is the last day, like the day of rest? And
I think you're right.
I think that's what it is.
I think you're right.
I believe. I didn't look it up to fact check it, but I think that is the reason.
Other way, it makes Wednesday in the middle of both the work week and the full week, always.
Oh, and shout out to Doc Dweeb, patron, for being the first one to guess correctly. So well done.
Oh, good job.
Good.
Let's start prepping the quiz. Let's get
into the quiz.
Quiz get the
time.
Quiz prep. Now I will say, just so everyone is crystal clear. Ian, you created the quiz, correct?
No, actually, Frank did. It was
Frank did. Okay.
A backup one, and just to keep it light and fun, it's about impending doom via global warming. So everybody, get your global warming hats on.
Oh boy.
Or climate change, I guess I should say.
Okay, whatever the most extreme answers are.
I read a good commentary though that was emphasizing that saying that like it's hopeless and we're doomed is functionally just as bad as saying there's no problem and we shouldn't worry.
Right, because if you're telling people you're doomed, that means they're not going to do anything.
Yeah, they both lead to the inaction of not doing anything. It's also not true. It's not like humanity is going to go extinct. It's just going to suck. And what we do determines how much it's going to suck. That's all. So it's just a question of how much is it going to cost? How much is it going to suck? Do we want to spend a little bit now or a lot later? That's it. You know what I mean? It's not like we're literally going to all die. You know, it's going to be, and if I'm wrong, no one's going to be around to say anything about it. So who cares?
But other species are going to feel it probably much worse than even us.
And there's a lot we can do. There is a lot we can do that will have a real effect, a dramatic effect, not just like nibbling around the edges, a real effect on how bad it's going to suck.
Yeah.
You know?
Speaking of sucking, apparently these questions are very hard. So good luck with that, everybody. No cheating, please. There we go. Oh, the baby's upset.
No cheating. The baby.
She's upset. Okay, I think everybody
Wait, I'm not in.
slowly
Hold on.
trickling in. Yeah. I'll wait for everybody. We still got 124 people. Let's see if there's any questions from the chat.
Come on, join the quiz.
Join the quiz while we're taking questions.
Yeah, come on. You're not as cool
Okay,
as
so
you
here's
can
a
be.
question
Don't
regarding
join
the
the quiz.
booster shot. I'd like to know their thoughts on the ethical considerations of getting a booster shot in the U.S. when so many countries are minimally vaxxed. Does getting the Pfizer booster take a vaccine away from somebody in a developing country?
Yeah, but is it though? So I mean, so
both.
the official word of Pfizer, Moderna, the U.S. government is we can do both. We are producing a billion vaccines. We're going to optimize the vaccine schedule here, and we are going to donate a crap ton of vaccines to poor countries, more than any other country, and we're going to get it done. I think that's reasonable, as long as we're not wasting doses. I think the real crime is people refusing vaccines. That's really the issue, is not that we're going to be getting to herd immunity, because having the US get to herd immunity will benefit the world's economy. Let's not forget that. And again, I think that saying that they could do both, all right, I basically buy that, depending on, given the number of vaccine doses they're producing.
I get the sentiment, because it just just sounds
I get it. I
very
certainly
privileged. Like, oh yeah, we're look, if it were up to me, and if it really meant the difference between people getting their first dose or not, absolutely. I just spent an entire week wearing a mask all day, literally the entire day, every single day. Like, that's what you got to do during a goddamn global pandemic. That is the way we're supposed to behave. So I'm fine living my life in an altered reality like this in order to keep general health, public health as good as possible. Everybody should be doing it. But, unfortunately, we don't live in that world. We live in a world where people are denying science so flagrantly now and rejecting expertise. It's disgusting. Read my private Facebook page, and you'll see I can't. That's all I talk about. That's all I talk about.
I think there's a more important question in the chat, though, I want to get to.
Yeah.
That is, what's better, New Haven style pizza or New York style pizza?
Now we're talking.
My God.
Now we're talking.
Don't even.
So,
right.
Wait. First of all, is the person asking the question, have they even had both?
They're probably from Chicago. They don't know nothing.
Yeah, they're probably from Chicago, just trying to cause trouble in the Northeast. So between Chicago style pizza, New York style pizza, and New Haven style pizza, first of all, it's all pizza. It's all awesome. I would order them New York, then New Haven, then Chicago. I mean, I live right next to New Haven. I've had the New Haven pizza, from Pepe's. It's awesome, but the single best slice of pizza I've had in my life was in New York.
Yeah.
And to be a little bit more specific, for me anyway, Brooklyn has the best pizza I have ever tasted in my life.
There's just something. It was just like one of those, like you're eating it, like, oh my God, this is the best pizza I've ever had.
Yeah.
I never had that experience eating New Haven pizza. It's like, yeah, this is damn good pizza, but not this like transcendent New York pizza experience.
Also, I think Sally's is technically a little bit better than Pepe's.
Ian and
both
I
good.
have a date to go do the dual test. We're going to check it out.
It's pretty good.
I mean, look, I've had Pepe's my whole adult life, and I've had New York pizza countless times. I'm intimate with both of them. There's a difference. The difference is New York pizza has a thicker crust and a much chewier dough.
Chewier crust, which I like. I don't like the crunchy. It's not my preferred crust. The crunchy.
Yeah, that's totally subjective. Whatever,
I want gluten and more gluten.
But Pepe's sauce is remarkable.
It's great. Yeah,
it's great.
It's not the best I've had.
Oh, and I had meatballs in Rome. I ate meatballs in Rome. I couldn't believe it. Because it's funny because meatballs and pizza and everything, there's something very American about a lot of that. You know what I mean? I had remarkable pizza in Florence, and when we went to Rome, I ordered two meatballs. I'm like, let me just check it out. Let me see what's happening over here.
Of course.
And they were fantastic.
Although the modern pizza was invented in Naples.
Yep.
It's a pizza Napolitano.
Yeah.
That's what we call pizza, is really pizza Napolitano. pizza is more of a generic term for any flatbread with stuff on it.
Yeah.
The pizza sauce and cheese that we think of as pizza is a pizza napolitano, which was then imported to New York first and then New Haven.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but anyway. So we're ready for this quiz?
We're ready for the quiz. Yes.
All right.
If everybody's ready, we're going to hit the synchronize button when I say click after the countdown. Here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, click.
I have been synchronized.
All right. My difference is negative, and I didn't click until after I heard the K in click.
No, really?
All right. While
That's
we're
odd.
waiting for people
Yeah.
to join us, I wanted to ask you guys a question. So I'm on the airplane, and I'm like, got 8 hours to do nothing, and I watched a couple of movies, and I ended up watching the first Deadpool movie, and I don't remember how many years ago that came out. What, 4 years ago at this point?
It's
5
fun.
years ago?
Maybe. Yeah.
I loved
The
it to
mo-
death.
It is freaking hysterical.
Oh
It's a
yeah,
fun
the
movie.
humor is great.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds
The opening
Nailed it.
scene.
He nailed
he
it.
nailed it. He
Oh, yeah.
nailed it, and he is freaking funny. And you can tell that they jam packed that script with jokes. Like it just kept being funny every 30 seconds. He did something funny, and I think Deadpool is a great. The fact that Deadpool breaks the fourth wall.
That's
He makes
risky,
fun-
man.
But Ryan Reynolds literally makes fun of himself in that movie,
Yeah.
which I just love.
Of Ryan Reynolds, not the
Yes.
character. Yeah.
Yes, he makes
Yes.
fun of Ryan Reynolds in the movie.
Yeah.
He's
I gotta
great
watch it
movie.
again. I remember the opening scene was just a tour de force of like, humor and just so much fun. I couldn't believe it. I don't remember it too well now because it's been 4 years. I gotta watch that again. All
Yeah,
right.
that's a good rewatch.
All right, we're ready.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Ready? Let's play a game.
Yeah.
There we go.
Want to play a game?
What is the Keeling curve? Is it a record of the global mean temperature, aka hockey stick? It says hokey stick, but I believe that means hockey stick.
Hokey
The phase space trajectory which the climate system has to follow to avoid tipping points. 3 is a record of daily CO2 concentration observations, or for a visual representation of the decline of Arctic sea ice, aka Arctic ice death spiral.
I got it wrong.
I don't know.
Pretty quick. There's a lot. I should have added more time, but it is a record of daily CO2 concentration observations.
According to this, yeah.
Yeah,
Feeling
I
that
didn't
round.
guess that because it doesn't sound like a curve, does it? It sounds like
Yeah.
a fluctuation.
Well, it's
guess
curving
if it's-
though. It is curving.
Yeah.
Long term, but this says daily. If it's an annual, I
I
would
guess
get
the
it.
Arctic Sea ice. I guess.
Somebody said, could we make the choices less wordy?
Yeah,
okay,
I know.
go.
Some of them, this is from Frank, so we'll tell him that too. How high have the global historical cumulative CO2 emissions been between 1850 and 2019? 140 GT, 520 GT, 2390 GT, 10,130 GT.
What's
That's
a GT?
gigaton. That's gigaton.
Giggity.
Giggity.
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult.
It could be
It's
pretty bad here.
Like
No.
Jay was saying, it's pretty.
I know what it is in parts per million.
If you want the specific answers, it's go to https://www. Forget it. I won't.
Yeah.
Don't slash my
IPCC numbers. There.
Yeah, cut Frank
It's-
some slack. Frank is the guy that created
time.
this software for free.
Right.
This is a perfectly calibrated puzzle.
Very
And I
true.
will tell you, to be fair, it is very hard to write quiz questions that are bad.
For
can't
the
wait to- I
listeners,
can't
it's
wait.
2,390 gigatons. With
Ian.
2020 as the starting point, how many more gigatons of CO2 can we emit globally to have an 83% chance of keeping warming under 2C? First one is virtually none. About 2 is about 900 gigatons. 3 is about 1,400 gigatons. 4 is about 2,300 gigatons.
This could be a trick.
Oh, I'm wrong.
The answer was about 900 gigatons.
Oh, the first one I got right.
And
I knew we
here-
were like 80% of the way there or
Yeah.
something. So that, and we had about 12 years. That's where the 12 years came from. But that was 2 years ago, I think. So that works out about right.
The
I did not
note
get that.
says, note that this assumes no change in non-CO2 emissions.
Like methane.
Mhm.
With any.
Methanogens.
Okay, here comes the next one.
Crystal methane.
If we continue current emissions, how many years until we have used up our remaining budget of 900 gigatons? Is
I
it
think I accidentally gave the answer away.
is it 7 years, 24 years, 48 years, 105 years?
We really need to cut the shit right now.
Yeah, totally.
But we won't.
But we won't.
What is wrong
And
with
the
humanity?
We will all
answer
fry together.
is
The Daily Double.
the Daily Double. 24 years. This is based on the 2019 value of 38 gigatons of global emissions. If the global per capita emissions were equal to the current U.S. value of 16 tons per person and year, we would reach that point in 7 years, assuming a constant population of 8 billion people. Sorry.
Yeah, I thought it was 7 years. Why is the answer 24 years?
See, I told you writing quiz questions is hard.
Well, it says this is based on the global. Well, okay, whatever.
Whatever.
How much?
I got robbed.
Yeah. How much has the global mean sea level risen since 1900? 10 centimeters, 20 centimeters, 50 centimeters, 80 centimeters.
Oh boy.
Somebody get your ruler out and go measure.
Since 1900.
I don't think that'll help.
Centimeter. Plank. How many plank lengths is that? That's
Yeah, this quiz is definitely in the weeds. Wonkiness.
Quintillion,
wise.
sextillion.
Oh, I'm wrong again.
Fuck.
Yes.
oh, I guessed wrong.
20 centimeters.
I guessed worse.
Almost picked it. I almost picked it. I was like,
20 centimeters.
Since
was
I
my
guessed
second choice.
worse, my
So
mindset now is,
How
oh,
many
that's
inches
not
is
that
that?
bad.
How many inches? Quick.
Uh,
5,020.
Yeah, it's like
Divide
8.
by- There you go. Very good.
I mean, how long until
So-
Florida's underwater? Is that going to be 50 years, 100 years?
Couple weeks.
Not soon enough.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Florida.
Is
Wow.
this the first time I'm going to get 0? No, I got another chance.
We got one more chance. Yes, there's 6 questions. How much more sea level rise is likely to occur by 2100?
What the hell?
Is it 10 to 50 centimeters, 50 to 100 centimeters, 100 to 200 centimeters, 300 to 600 centimeters?
That would.
Here's some notes. This excludes rapid melting of ice sheets. There are lots of uncertainties around ice sheet processes. IPCC's low
Hence these
likelihood.
wide ranges.
Yeah.
Damn, I got a big fat 0.
I think I did too, Bob.
I got 1.
First time ever.
I got a
mean,
rock.
I got it.
These are hard questions, man. I'm telling you, like, this is the real shit. This is what my quizzes would be like if I didn't have a year of doing them. And
Yes.
you know,
See?
it's
It is
hard.
I mean, I feel good that I almost got the right answer on a lot of them. Like, I kind of sort of knew what the answer was, if I didn't know what the precise answer was.
See, everyone complaining about Jay's quizzes can shove it.
I got 16% correct.
Yeah, I got 16% too.
All right, let's stop the game. Here we
I mean,
go.
if this were alcohol, if this were beer, that'd be high alcohol content. So, I
All
guess
right.
Wow.
Whoever federal
Federal
ICAC
ICAC.
is,
Wow.
That's
Bravo
Frank.
or Brava.
Quick,
is that Frank?
quick typing
It
skills.
must be.
Quick Googling skills. You're good.
Must
Frank,
New
if
Zealand's
that's
up there.
you, you cheated because you wrote the quiz. That cracks me up. All right, so
So it's
these are-
basically, if you look at it, it's random guessing. They were hovering around 25%.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Well, this goes on everyone's permanent record, by the way. So
Yeah,
anytime you
right.
apply for a job now, they're going to ask you how you did on this.
Mhm.
Yeah, next week when you want to complain about my quiz,
Mm.
humble
stop.
yourself.
Wait,
Okay.
how come I don't see any 0s?
They go
It's
to the page of shame.
Yes.
Bob, if you get a 0, you immediately get kicked off the quiz. You can't play
Count
anymore.
gets deleted.
No, I mean, I thought
Lose your
there'd be a lot of
It's
0s
Squid
here.
Game. Squid Game, but for anybody watch Squid Game?
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
I was
saw
told
every
to
second
watch
of
it.
and I loved it.
I was told to
That's
watch it.
that
It's
is, you know what,
awesome.
Ian, I
Check
think
it
Bob's
out.
right. There might be a bug in the game because there had to be
There's no
people
0.
that got 0s.
Frank
I'm
never
telling you,
thought
I got
he'd have
0.
a 0.
I got 0. I'm not
Mm.
on here.
All right, I'll tell Frank. It's good. We're
Yeah,
just
we
we're-
didn't
we're
account
just
for
stress-
0.
We're stress testing.
Yay, pineapple
true.
on pizza to whomever said pineapple on pizza. Yeah, that's a whole. Yeah, I did.
What about
that once
licorice on
Facebook.
pizza? Have you seen that yet?
Oh my!
No,
Licorice on
pizza.
pizza?
Yeah.
Is
I
that
love
like
licorice and I love pizza, but I don't think I would like licorice.
No,
on
It's
Nah,
the
Nah,
equivalent of
good.
eating a
Good, dude.
Tide Pod. I mean, what the hell is
Maybe.
that?
Well, you know how like Italian sausage kind of has that anisette flavoring.
Does
That's what.
sausage-
Yes,
the-
I get
That's
that.
what the that claim is. I don't know. I mean, whatever. I tried.
What's your favorite series that you're watching now on TV?
Oh, Foundation.
Yeah.
I'm digging
Next
it.
episode tonight. You
Not
haven't
me.
watched it yet. Don't say anything.
Not me.
Don't type anything.
My favorite is that Oates Productions one for the anthology.
We're going to talk about it on the show tomorrow. Oates. Oates Studios.
Epic. Check it out. If you like sci-fi and horror, check that.
I'm going to watch
out.
it this weekend.
It's fantastic.
I like Sex Education. Very funny.
Can
I ask you guys another? Can I ask another movie question?
Ted Lasso is also very good.
Ted Lasso is very good.
So on the flight I just had, I watched the Murder on the Orient Express, the one that
remake?
came out. Yeah, the remake. Did any of you guys see it?
No,
I think so. Yeah.
What'd you think?
It had some. It was okay. I had an affinity for the original, certainly.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, I liked it. I thought that the acting was fantastic. I don't know what it was about the writing. It just felt a little
forced.
Yeah, there was something a little weird about it.
Yeah, it didn't flow, and kind of knowing this when you have a mystery that you're doing a remake of a mystery that you know already, sort of really what the outcome is going to be. So inherently, I think there's already this dampening effect that comes along with
you won't have
like
the big denouement, of course.
Right. But I thought it was fine. I was entertained by it. I didn't think it was terrible.
Yeah,
I like just about all those actors.
Yeah, me too.
I finished the first season of What If. Very good.
Excellent, fantastic.
Nice.
If you're a Marvel fan, you love the movies, it's a must see.
Mm-hmm.
It's so well done.
Speaking of C, have you seen C on Apple TV?
No.
SEAC?
No, SEE.
Oh,
it's
Is it good?
It's about a world in which pretty much everyone goes blind.
And pretty much, meaning not 100%.
Well, that's kind of like it's slightly.
In the world of the blind, the one-eyed man is king.
But so is that Day of the Trippers?
Yeah,
is that from the Bible
or Shakespeare?
No,
Shakespeare.
Bible or Shakespeare? You ever play that game?
It's hard. King James Bible.
Yeah.
Do that.
I want to start watching Sabrina, the final season of Sabrina. I'm looking forward to that. That's a creepy, macabre. One season. There's a final season that came out like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Just started watching Maid, which I heard really good things about. Too early to say. It's okay so far.
Somebody wanted to know. We were talking about the Foundation series.
Yeah, Foundation.
Apple TV.
Look, I read about half of the first book, and wow, it's not a modern novel, and the fact that this TV show has created a way to tell this story is brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely brilliant, and it's a really compelling story.
Yeah, I mean the big thing is remember the all the Foundation novels were written over 30 plus years, 40 years. They're basically imagining the series as it was at the end. You know what I mean? Not at the beginning. They're including all of the changes that Asimov introduced as he was writing the series.
Like computers and
the world evolved as his writing evolved and as real technology evolved. And they're also including other things that he wrote that were, didn't know about at the time he was writing the first novel, but from his later writings. They had to do it that way, and they're also, fleshing out some of the backstory because, Asimov just skips ahead generation that first book. You couldn't really do a series that way, unless it was more of an anthology, which is kind of how it was written. But yeah, so far I think they're doing a good job adapting the source material, which was always the big question mark. It was the famously unadaptable book.
Yeah,
it was like, this is an awesome epic sci-fi series that no one can adapt a screenplay from. But they so far they're doing a great job, and I hope they keep it up.
One more question, guys.
Yeah.
No spoilers, because I have not been in front of a TV. Did you guys see Dune?
No.
What? Is it out? Is it out yet?
No,
it's not out. It's not out for like
November, I thought.
Yeah,
It's out in the UK.
Did it get in Europe? Europe got
Yeah, it's
it.
out. It's out in the UK. It'll be out here in November, I think.
No spoiler chats there.
Looking forward to it. What do you mean no spoilers? The story's 50 years old. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but I don't want to hear. I would rather not hear like any details about what they.
It's a remake.
Didn't like.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
you want to know how many stars it got?
Twist.
Yeah.
You want to know how many stars it got on IMDb?
Oh, great! Oh, that's not
versus the 1984 one.
No,
everybody hated that.
I loved it. I love the 1984 one.
How many?
It was awesome.
Bob,
what's Rotten Tomatoes saying?
I can't think anymore.
Yeah.
How about Star Wars Visions? Have you seen any of these?
Is that the landscape thing?
No.
What is it?
Star Wars Visions is a series of Star Wars animated shorts by different animators in different styles. The first one is Japanimation, and it's imagining Force users as samurai and
that sounds very cool.
It was wonderful.
I'll try to watch it this weekend.
Love that.
I saw
great, fantastic.
Oh, is that Disney Plus?
I will watch some this weekend. Right? Yeah, I haven't had any free TV time in a very long time.
The mouse owns it all now.
Also, update October 22nd is when Dune is coming out on HBO Max and in theaters.
Ooh, October, but that's in the theater one.
That doesn't work for us. We're live streaming that day. That's a Friday.
Oh, sorry, yeah, unfortunately.
So we're gonna have to move that.
Don't we have to see? Let's get tickets now for that, Jay.
We'll
we got to see
stream.
It's going to be in the theater.
Okay, don't yell at me.
You want to go that night after the stream?
Yeah, go right from the stream to watching Dune.
I'm there.
We do that.
We got some questions from Discord.
Absolutely.
From Gatmac says, should I buy the James Bond 007 complete set on iTunes Store for $100?
I don't know. Should you? How much do you like James Bond?
I don't know if they give you any extras. I mean, I would spend. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money to buy movies that you probably have on other pay services. But if they give some really new, compelling extra material, it might be worth it.
Yeah. And often that extra material,
like Austin Martin,
that extra material is often available on YouTube. So you don't even necessarily need that. But
you can always, there's always extra stuff to find. But I can think of worse ways to spend $100.
I love James Bond. I loved watching them.
Who's your favorite James Bond?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Sean Connery.
Woody Allen.
I mean, Sean Connery set such a high bar right out of the gate.
He did.
But who's the latest guy? I love him too. He's great.
Yeah, it's Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig. Great. Yeah, he's the second best.
And have they cast the replacement for Craig yet? Because this was Craig's last one, is what I thought.
Yeah, it's his last one.
Oh, is Idris Elba?
I don't know if it is.
I thought it was.
I thought it might be.
Idris Elba would be awesome. I thought he would make a great doctor.
Yeah.
Ooh,
that was
he'd be awesome.
Yep.
As the doctor.
It's really good.
I think it's interesting to see different people have different interpretations of the character.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like the Star Trek, the original series. Like I grew up with Sean Connery. He was the first, and he embodies the character in a way that I don't think anybody else quite gets.
Yeah. And as an actor, he has more gravitas than any of the other Bonds. Although I think Craig comes close. And then there was one other one who I can't forget the actor's name now. He only did a couple of movies.
Dalton.
Dalton. Roger. Is it? Yeah.
Well, Dalton came after. What's his name? Moore.
Moore. Yeah.
And then what's his name?
Dalton. I like Dalton. I think he did two of them.
Dalton was good.
Moore
was okay.
Pierce Brosnan.
Was okay.
Pierce Brosnan did.
Yeah, he was okay.
He was okay
as well, but. No, I would go, Connery, Craig, Moore, Dalton would be my top three.
Yeah.
Roger Moore was okay. He held us. He sustained us in the post.
I grew up. I grew up with him. And you watch it now, though. If you watch it now, it's campy as shit.
Yeah.
Oh, they had that 70s, that late 70s feel to it. Blech.
But it's just a different type of Bond, And if you want to preserve your childhood memories growing up watching him, I don't recommend watching him, but
don't watch The Dark Crystal. Do not watch The Dark Crystal.
Don't watch the original.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
What about the new one? You don't like the new one?
New one's awesome.
I loved
the
it.
new the remake, the series was great.
So pissed.
You look at the movie,
they canceled it, and that was all practical. That was mostly practical effects. It was beautiful. The
beautiful
Dark Crystal. Like
why would they cancel it? It was so good.
Because people don't have any taste, Steve.
It's a little uncanny
valley. The big wigs. Ask the big wig.
Then we had this big debate about Total Recall, the original Total Recall.
Oh God, unbelievable.
Because we saw it. It was interesting though, because it was kind of
then.
We loved it when it came out.
Oh gosh,
this is in our
pre-Evan
days.
No, the Quaid. Oh my gosh, it was
whatever. It was campy even when it came out, but we loved it. And then I didn't see it for 20 years, whatever. I showed it to my daughters like 10 years ago, and it was horrible. I was like, what the hell? It was just horrible. And then we watched it again like less than a year ago, right? We all watched it together.
Yeah, not so bad.
Jay's wife was trying to convince us that it wasn't bad, that it was actually that
it was better than I thought it was going to be. I'll say that. And it was
so the thing is, it was. So the second time I saw it, when I saw it recently, compared to my memory of it, it was horrible. But then when I saw it the most recently, compared to my memory of the horrible version, it was not as bad as I thought.
Well, that's because it actually slipped into comically campy.
Slipped into campy. Yeah, it slipped into.
They decided to go cartoon. Yeah. It played out more like a cartoon made into a movie or a comic book.
Once you realize that you shouldn't take it seriously, it actually is. There's some enjoyable aspects.
Yeah, you got to let it be ridiculous. And
you're like, okay, you got to let it be ridiculous.
It's stupid, but it's Arnold makes some of the best Arnold Schwarzenegger sounds. Like those noises.
Johnny Cab. You got to like the Johnny Cab.
Johnny Cab.
Eye rolling.
I'm not programmed.
And of course, what's her name?
Oh, Sharon Stone.
Oh, I had a serious crush on her. I mean, me and a trillion other guys.
Yeah, you and the rest of the world. Yeah.
Yes.
I can't form thoughts anymore at this point. I've been awake for almost.
This is different.
Sharon Stone has that effect on me too, Jay.
I can't. I'm trying to figure out how long I've been awake. Like 20 hours, over 20 hours.
Yeah, you're almost you're past that threshold where you're kind of no longer tired, but.
Yeah, I just feel like I'm in an alternate dimension. Yeah.
Like a fuzziness to everything.
No, I'm
past
it's
midnight to you, right? It's midnight to you, Jay.
It is midnight. No, but I got up early
in the morning there
in Italy this morning. You know what I mean? Like my wife and I got up at like dark 30 to catch a freaking plane. And I couldn't sleep last night. I could not fall asleep. I always get a little bit like, did I pack everything? What's happening? I get a little crazy about making sure I have all my stuff ready to go.
Right.
I'll make a comment about having 2 days to prepare for a trip though. It was unbelievable. It was awesome because I didn't get to the point where I stressed about anything. I just packed. I just said, I'm taking 3 pairs of pants and this, and because there was laundry, I could do laundry in the place the Airbnb, because it was like a home, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So we did laundry, and I didn't freak out about all the typical a month leading up to it. You start thinking all right, what do I got to bring? What's the weather going to be like?
Do I have the adapters for the plug?
Yeah, it just didn't matter. I just went, and it was great.
Cool.
I don't want to say anything I'll be angry about tomorrow, so I'm going to start to stop talking now because I'm really I'm starting to slip over here.
He's liable to say anything at this point.
Jay, start the reactor, Jay.
My wife does the best impression of that character of anybody. She does it so well. It's so weird.
Oh, Jay, I wish we had that picture.
Everybody can see it. If you watch Alpha Quadrant 6, there's a video.
Yeah, we did it for Alpha Quadrant 6. All right, want to do one more question and then out?
Yes, please.
Yeah, we have another question.
Yes. Well, okay. So this one says the reaction. Sorry, just reloaded. The reaction to healthcare workers being fired for not getting the COVID vaccine seems to be that they are anti-science and must not have been good at their job. Would you say that's the case, or are they compartmentalizing this one thing from their medical knowledge?
I mean, both are true. So they are. So medical knowledge and skill could be very technical. You know what I mean? You know the things that you need to do, even though you may not be great at theory and understanding why those are the things that we do. But that sets limits on how good a clinician you could be, right? So kind of when you say a healthcare worker, that's a lot of people. That's doing a lot of heavy lifting. So if you're an X-ray technician, sure, you could be technically excellent at being an X-ray technician without necessarily having a good science-based medicine background where you can, understand the difference between medical science and pseudoscience and all the subtleties of clinical decision-making, et cetera. If you're a clinician, I'm sorry, you have problems. You cannot, if you can compartmentalize that, you can compartmentalize anything. You have serious flaws in your clinical decision, making skills. And you can't be, I don't see how you could be a good clinician and be an anti-vaxxer. Those two things are not compatible. Right?
Right. Quite right.
Right. All right. Well, guys, Jay, welcome back.
Thank you, guys. I missed you all.
Yep. Everyone, thank you for joining us. Ian, thanks as always.
Thanks, Ian.
I won't be here next Friday. 2 weeks from Friday, I will be back.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so we'll see Evan in 2 weeks. He's got his own honeymoon.
20-year anniversary.
Wow.
Anniversary thing to do.
Awesome,
yeah.
Ev.
Yeah, I know. You just did your 10. I'm doing my 20.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I'm coming up on 30.
He's coming up on 30.
You're all pikers. Not in for the long haul.
I skipped out before I got my 30th.
Bob's already bailed. Bob's got his parachute. All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
Good night, everybody.
So long, everyone.
Happy Friday.
Smash that like button or something.
Yeah,
there's a like button and a YouTube and a
like a button
and an Insta
Bye-bye.
something. And Jay's gone.
Bye, guys.
He was like,
Thanks.
all right.
Thanks,
Gone.
Ian.
Are we out?
Skeptic's Guide to the Universe is produced by SGU Productions, dedicated to promoting science and critical thinking. For more information, visit us at theskepticsguide.org. Send your questions to info@theskepticsguide.org. And if you would like to support the show and all the work that we do, go to patreon.com/skepticsguide and consider becoming a patron and becoming part of the SGU community. Our listeners and supporters are what make SGU possible.